see what we can do. Shander. Big gulps, eh?
Good day that I... Hey, welcome in Wednesday, hump day. So hopefully you humped something before you came here, or you've got something lined up, right? Last time we checked, Ben Rasa was about to get married, so we'll have to update his marital or non-marital status. We have a lot of things happening tonight. That's right, two NBA games, play-in games. There's action. In fact, Ben, as Mike Lawrence is producing, as you all out there know, the thumbs up button, the subscribe, will continue to pound that throughout the show. OddsShopper Premium, all the great stuff that you can get here. But as you know, and now I even forgot my train of thought, so I don't even know where I was going out, or I forget where I was going. I was going somewhere, but I forget. Play in basketball. Oh, I know.
Oh, okay.
As you know, I already bet a Joel Embiid prop for Saturday. This is great. Stuff is up on the OddsShopper Premium channel days in advance. Eric Lindquist and I smashed, he was just along for the ride, smashed some Clint Capella prop that we gave out on Monday, even money rebounds. That thing cashed in the first half last night. So, Ben, you are charged with a bunch of things. Not only looking at tonight's NBA action, redeeming yourself from last night's hockey action, looking ahead at anything else in the NBA, and also, we're going to have to talk about this DraftKings promo at some point, the RBC plus 250 bump. And I have a theory on how we can apply that plus 250 odds boost on DraftKings for the RBC. How you doing, Ben Rasa?
I'm all right. I'm hanging in there. Yeah, today is the day of redemption. No doubt about it. Me and Lofty, the majority of things did not go our way. Clint Capella, him his 20 rebounds. Kevin Love and his 3 minutes on the court. Those were positives. The rest, though, some big time negatives, but you know what? We got a lot of opportunities. We got two more interesting games tonight. Of the four play-in games, to me, these are the two more interesting games, not just from a betting perspective, but from a life perspective.
So let's look at the life perspective, because we're going to have plenty of time to look at the market. We'll identify some top plays. I have something that is so minus EV. It's going to turn you into the end scene of the first Raiders of the Lost Ark, where the guys were just melted.
Never seen it.
Of course, I specifically referenced that movie, knowing that you've never seen it. Trust me, you're going to melt at this. But I'm on a roll with it. A roll can only be one night, but I'm on a roll with it. All right, let's and a lot of where I play this and bet this crazy, absurd but awesome bet tonight is going to lie on how you look at this from a life standpoint. So when you mention from a betting, we'll get to that. We'll get to the market. But we have two interesting games, fascinating games. If you look at this, Chicago and Toronto, and then we know the Pelicans game, as far as, them hosting, where do you see, if at all, like who is the easiest winner for you tonight? Because I keep going back and forth and I think, all right, well, I like both favorites. I don't necessarily like OKC to win the game. I'm just thinking, like, who do you like as far as forget spread and all that? Who wins tonight that you're most confident in of the four teams?
It would be the Raptors for me at home. It's nothing really against the Bulls. It's just I think both teams kind of are who they are. And I look at Toronto. I kind of trust their bigs. I trust Van Vliet. I trust their coaching. And it's not to say that I don't trust DeMar DeRozan. It's not to say I don't trust Vooch. I just think when push comes to shove, that's a pretty accurate spread. And if the spread is really accurate, that means that Toronto should be winning that game the large majority of the time. And I think they do that tonight. So some of the props that I like, some of the best values over on OddsShopper as we dig into the show, I think are going to come from that game and kind of correlate. We talked about even yesterday, the under on DeRozan and some of that stuff. So I think for me, the Raptors is the answer to that.
Yeah, I'm on the other game, and I've gone back and forth on this from a spread standpoint, but I really just don't think, I don't see New Orleans losing this game. And a lot of it is because I'm under Shea Gilly. Because if you're fading, if Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is not dropping 50 and just taking over a monster game, then I think ultimately OKC struggles to keep up from a scoring standpoint with New Orleans. And look, all this stuff about Zion, they played without Zion way too long for this to be an issue or anything like that. You've got Ingram and McCollum healthy. And even now, like Larry Nance is the only real questionable guy. So I'm with you. I think Toronto, and that's what I mean. Like both favorites, I think, win. The spread is a completely different conversation, how that shit plays out. But you and I think, are both on a similar vein where it's like we have a confident favorite that we know is going to win, just happens to encompass both favorites.
Yeah, and I will say again, yesterday I felt pretty damn confident that the Miami Heat at home, they remind me a lot of the Raptors in a lot of ways. I trust their coaching. They know who they are. And I looked up and the Hawks had 65 points at halftime. So, I mean, it's the NBA, stuff happens and the Heat will get another shot, but that was really surprising. So these are far from, you can put it in Sharpie, but I do think when push comes to shove, the Raptors tonight should really have some advantages in that game. Look at this. Look at this community parlay. What a mess last night. The Penguins eliminating themselves from the playoffs. Good job, boys. Unless the Islanders melt tonight, which they're not going to. So
yeah,
all
this was
around
awful by you guys last night. What happened?
Oh wow, thank you.
Well, I mean, Loffy's the only one who can just dodge the bullet.
I had been on a good run. It's because it's just like Fight Club. You don't talk. I was on a real good stretch with hockey, and I stated it, and look what happened. But we're gonna be right back to it today.
So earlier in the week, and this was on Monday, the 10th, right? Monday was the 10th. With Eric, there were two bets that we got in on here on the OddsShopper channel. One of them was Clint Capella over the 9.5 rebounds at even money, which just in hindsight is a gift. Was the books just handing us over?
That's
a gift.
Generational wealth right there.
Exactly.
Opportunity.
If you knew. Opportunity. Keyword. The other one was Brandon Ingram over 6.5 rebounds. Now, this was at minus 113 at the time. And since then, both sides of Brandon Ingram's rebounds are minus XROI. So you can go under 7.5 at minus 140, or you can go over 6.5 at minus 140. Point being is that neither side is beating the market. Neither side provides any opportunity. Yet 2 days ago, when we were doing this show, we used this very tool that we talk about to get ahead of play. So a lot of times, Ben, we just get on here, we look at the market, we talk about, oh, what's this? What's it? But you don't need a break. Like anytime something is up, it doesn't have to be a futures play. You can just get ahead of something a day or so, right? You don't need to be having a leans or locks video at, 11:30 at night the night before to be able to use something like this and just get ahead. So it's interesting for me to see now where Brandon Ingram's rebounds are essentially unplayable. Yet we talked about this 2 days ago. I'm sure you guys had stuff yesterday that popped up for this game on top of just the game itself, the two games, last night.
Yeah, and again, I mean, this is such a unique situation because during the year, for obvious reasons, the books aren't going to line a game that's 72 hours away because guys are sitting, teams are playing. But here, the series, and we can maybe I can convince you, maybe we'll take a little peek at some of those series prices because they are out. And I got some thoughts on some of these big time lines out there. So there's a lot to get to. Obviously, we've got games tonight, what I'm going to mainly focus on. But there's no doubt if you're using your free week, which is available, link below, you're going to see games from Sunday and Saturday popping up as really good values right now.
Speaking of which, I want to find out the day in which this was placed, but this was April 10th, 4:06, 4:45 p.m. Right on this show, I convinced Lindquist, although that dog probably just lied to me on the show and said, yeah, I'm tailing, and then didn't place the wager. But we got in as a show, and anybody else out here on the community that tailed, remember, we are locked into, yes, plus 235, Raptors to make the playoffs, not play in, playoffs. So I essentially have the Raptors tonight, right, on the money line. If they win, is this not for, this is the right to play in the 8?
Yes.
They need to win 2 more games.
They have to win tonight.
This whole thing is so fucking stupid.
No, I love it.
Of course you do. Because it bothers and upsets the normal human being. Therefore, you love this.
It's fantastic. Let me step back. Is it fantastic? No, that's fake news. The way they do it is right though. I like this, the 7 and 8, 9 and 10. That's a cool concept because, you know, like the Heat get a second chance. These
Yep.
teams are do and die. Yeah, it was I like the format though.
Okay. Okay. Look, that's fine. That's fine. So we're on that futures ticket for the Raptors to make the playoffs. Outside of that, and look, I'm going to save the craziness because we have to. There's no real news tonight, right? There's just Larry Nance is questionable, what have you. I did see
It's
on the chat,
playoffs.
was that our pal Steve? Yeah, Steve Leibowitz, good friend of the show. Chat, what do you think of the narrative the Raptors have tuned out? Oh, Nurse. Sorry. I mean, a nurse. I thought it was Nance at first that I saw that. Something completely different. Calvin Weeks, Lindy has blocked people on Twitter before who have asked to see his bet tickets. Be careful, Eytan.
Lindy drops the hammer. He doesn't take any nonsense. That guy, he throws down the hammer.
Do you block people a lot?
No. I don't block anybody. I just mute them. I mute them into the ether.
So I don't block people off communication. If you retweet somebody that's like a stupid meme or like somebody saying something stupid, or it's like one of these ridiculous, like 300 followers that blows up, I block that shit. Like, I don't need to see
Block
that.
him.
Right. He blocked Saul Goodman for it. Shameful.
Saul,
Shameful.
friend of the show. All around great human being. Love that guy. Anyway,
News God's coming in and confirming, by the way, no real news tonight indeed. So that's not me making it up. All right, let's look at this here, man. Let's hit the board because I've got stuff and I'm going to just remind the world every time I'm on here and we have this opportunity to talk, some stuff that really has been hitting for me. And it's stuff that I've been putting out on the Discord. It's stuff that I've been tracking on my own. Ben knows I've been tracking everything we're doing here. Bets that I've been playing here for the OddsShopper. But anything you can find, like second quarter, totals, spreads, the tool has really found good maneuverability, if you will, through that. So I found a couple, Ben, off the tool today, actually, earlier in the day. And I'm curious, as we just look at what we have in front of us, where these are and how they've moved. But like Toronto, first quarter, -1.5, the 103.5 under the Chicago team total. Stuff like this is popping up on the tool a lot. And I just want to remind the world that it's not just player props that you can take advantage of here. A lot of times the sides and the totals within the game seem to be really attackable.
Absolutely. Again, you just got to keep an eye on it. And they're really what I do with these type of games, because what we know, you know, guys are going to push for major minutes. This is not like the regular season. So I kind of have my concept of how I think the game is going to go. And now I'm going to go to the board and see, does the market agree? Are there props that are actionable that agree with that? Whether it is a team total under for the Bulls, whether it is the over on some of these key Raptor players, things like that. And again, I looked to short DeRozan yesterday. That popped up with his points. Under 4.5 rebounds for him at plus money is on the board as a potential value. So there are some things that we can get into that go to some of my just initial thoughts on the game, which is always refreshing.
First three that I see here are going to be Pirtle, right? Rebounds under 9.5. And then it gets a little tight with ROI, but these are still good bets in that Siakam under 8.5. And you can stretch that Vooch. If you think Vooch gets you 11 rebounds, you can get that at plus money on PointsBet. So to your point, the first three that really pop up here from a positive ROI standpoint in this game are all rebound props.
Cards we've been dealt, but maybe, because we did have a lot of fun yesterday. And although not all of it worked out, we were sweating Jimmy Butler triple-double props yesterday. We were talking a lot about double-double props, and obviously Anthony Davis, of course, got there. Towns, guys like that were expected. But maybe we take a peek at double-doubles in this game. You've got Vooch sitting at -155 for a double-double. Siakam plus 175 for a double-double. Not bad.
We're not bad there. Does it bother you that we're under, that Siakam's under is the plus EV bet? Unless I mean, the plus EV, it could also be over too.
So it bothers me in the sense that, again, you're still evaluating the bets differently because it's all about the juice that you're paying. You're almost getting 2-to-1 on a double-double. So you're trying to evaluate range of outcomes. Siakam's just an example for that. Again, he's juiced to have under 8.5 rebounds tonight. And that's why if he happens to achieve 10, you're going to get paid off because him getting 10 points is kind of a given. You know what I mean? So it's really looking at that. And it's not like last night to me where we have these double props that I think really stand out. I thought there were some good ones last night.
Yeah, tonight, man, just looking at these. So I've got one that I was going to hit you with coming up in a minute, but I want to just follow up on this with doubles in general. Again, Pirtle, we're below him on rebound. Same thing with Siakam.
Yep.
Van Vliet might be tempting, but that's pretty much it. Like, I'm not going to just belligerently go plus 900 on DeMar DeRozan. Now, the next game is probably going to afford a little bit more leeway here, right? Like Brandon Ingram, that number has dropped significantly. We were playing that earlier, like a month or so ago. This was up at like 400, right? So I know like Valanciunas is not bad. Giddey at 150. I think I'd play Giddey at 150 of all the ones that we've played so far and talked about so far. Even though I like New Orleans to win, I think it's either Ingram, although just knowing where Ingram was like a couple of weeks ago, I feel terrible about playing it at 140 now. I think Josh Giddey would make some sense here at plus 150 for a double-double. The only other one that, I mean, God, could you get 10 rebounds from Lou Dort tonight?
I mean, anything's possible. Honestly, and again, I'm not just gonna pull this and say, oh, he did it against the Pelicans the last time. SGA is 7-1 for a double-double, and he contributes in all areas. Now, he rarely gets double-digit anything. He's the type of guy that averages, like 5.5 assists and about 5 rebounds, but he lands around those frequently, not a big upside guy in those categories. But he's going to push for, I don't know, 40+ minutes tonight. I think pretty easily in a competitive game. If you're looking for the home run, I said this with Murray yesterday, wasn't even close. And I get Giddey and these other guys take a lot of it, but maybe you could get SGA flirting with it at a huge price.
Here's the thing, and this is the only problem I have with this, is that if you're on that, I think you have to be on OKC. It's hard for me to look, unless the double-double consists of like 20 points, right? And he's just doing other stuff to fill. But if the idea is that he's out there for 40+ minutes and he's getting a double-double, he's probably going to be like low 30s and 10 to 12 of whatever that is, right? Or maybe probably just 10. Wouldn't that constitute taking, like, how are the Thunder not in that game if SGA has his hands all over the game?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously going to need to, but this is a game that I think is certainly, let me just pull before I say anything crazy.
Yeah,
226.5 point total. Like, this could get up and down a little bit. I think there'd just be more assist equity in the game, obviously more rebound opportunities. I don't think it's a given that we know exactly how the Pelicans play it in terms of their front court with Joe Val. Right. Like, is he going to push for major minutes? Is he going to be played off the floor a little bit? I don't think that's a given. I mean, you can check the box scores. When they played OKC, he played 25 minutes in one of those games. Then he played 16, but I don't read a ton into that. So I think we know for certain SGA is going to be heavily involved. Where that usage goes, though, maybe he takes 30 shots tonight instead of distributes.
Look, I know it's small sample size, but I'm telling you, as you're going through this, I think the two guys that I'm going to target tonight, and you tell me where your double-doubles are, and then maybe let's come to a general consensus. So I'm bringing to the table Josh Giddey, and my longer shot would be CJ McCollum. If you look at what he's been able to do in a small sample size against OKC, he's definitely been able to impact the game more than just scoring. One of those games actually double-digit assists. The other was a near triple-double. Single digits in the other two categories, I get it, but he's got his hands in a lot of areas here, especially without a guy like Zion, and you mentioned Jonas in that front court there. With that said, those would be my two guys. So nothing in the first game. Just these two guys is my suggestion.
That's fair. I'm going to throw it right back to you because See, this is what chat, they know. Mac knows, loyal listener. What about
Giddey.
flirting with Giddey triple double? You're getting 13-1.
Well, okay. I didn't think you would be the one
No,
stepping on the pedal faster than me. So I'm fine with that. Look, I think Giddey makes more sense than Ingram. Those are the only two guys
I
you
agree
can
with
play
that.
here, right? Now, the other game, could you justify, like, it would be Siakam, really?
Nobody's
They don't even
getting
have
a
a triple-double
triple-double in
up
that
there
game.
for the other game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any realistic target in the other game.
Look, if you want, I think I would bet Josh Giddey at plus 150. I'd sprinkle something at plus 1,300. And then I'd also take a shot at CJ McCollum. So if you want to do Josh Giddey triple-double, let's do it. But I also think we should add one double-double in there, too. So we have a triple-double and a double-double. How about that?
I mean, you can ladder Giddey in that fashion, too. He's got a real shot to double-double, and then you take, you know, 0.2 of a unit and you put it on the triple-double. It's a guy that, again, the reason I'm exploring these more, these are not my type of bets. I just really, really like the first game in these playoff mentalities because the rotations are tighter, the minutes are in flux. There's just a lot of opportunity. And I'll shout out Josh Engelman. You watched the show yesterday. Lofty mentioned this about Kevin Love. He got played off the floor. His props were free last night.
Yep.
Now, of course, when the Heat, you know, when they play again, it's going to be totally different. These things are going to adjust. But in these first games, you can get some opportunities, and Giddey's certainly going to be busy tonight.
I get it, man. I think we look at historically, and I think it was, I want to make sure I credit the right guy in the Discord. I think it was Harambe who mentioned this, just about the recent, at least, struggles that you've seen with Gilgeous-Alexander. And I think that alone, you're going to see an increase in usage. And I get it. Like, there are defensive concerns about Josh Giddey, but I don't think that he gets played off the floor like you just mentioned with Kevin Love. Nothing else really, you know, for tonight. A lot of stuff is jumped out early, right? Like Jaren Jackson prop is up there. Anthony Davis is up there. Jalen Brunson. Are you looking at any of this? I told you, I jumped on that Joel Embiid under 49.5 PRA earlier in the day. It's still up there. 47.5 some places at Caesars and DraftKings. Everywhere else is 48.5. So I'm anticipating that FanDuel at some point is going to come down because they're the lone book at 49.5 versus everybody else, including some books that are 2. So I don't know if you looked ahead at anything else besides tonight.
I mean, I took a peek, and certainly if there's opportunities, that's what I was kind of saying at the top, to be honest. I know we're not going to spend a ton on games that are 72 hours away because people want action tonight. I get it. But if you are, again, if you're following, if you said, I want my free week, I want to check this out, what a great opportunity, because you can lock bets in Saturday and Sunday right now. And I know for me, I was taking a peek at the series prices. I'm probably going to put some bets on the card tonight for Saturday and Sunday.
I want to do that. The series props. We've got something interesting here regarding the futures, right, of the series that are already up. The spread, I think, is going to, unless you just have some wild upset. But I want to take you to this. Last night, this bet hit for us on the Discord 2 times over. And I think it was an awesome bet. And I'm coming right back to it tonight. And I think the Pelicans are actually the perfect bet for this. So if you want to play along, this is under the popular tab in FanDuel, and it's called Largest Comeback. And you can bet a team to trail by 10 plus, 15 plus, up to 20 plus, and win the game. Mike, hit Ben with what happened last night, because he's not going to believe it. Like, he's not going to believe that this bet even exists. That was the easy one. All right, that's fine. That's no problem. 10 plus is easy. That's no problem at all. And it gets a little interesting when you bump this sucker up to 15 and you hit a plus 1,200 smash. Now, we were almost at 20, down 20 to come back for a monster one. But New Orleans right now in this game is plus 450, trail 10 and win. Plus 1,300, trail by 15 and win. Plus 5,000, trail by 20 and win. So the reason why I asked you at the start of the show, Ben, just to get a feel of who you like the best, it's the NBA. there's a really good chance that a team is going to be down 9 to 10 to 11 points every night.
Yes, I totally agree with that. The runs, are ridiculous, but it does tighten up in the playoffs, and you need, obviously, unless you think it's the other way, but I would not do that. You're going to need the favorite to fall behind. And that's tricky. You hope a team like OKC starts really fast as a 226.5 point total, and then the Pelicans can make up that deficit. I have no problem with those bets. The thing that I would just counter with is you don't necessarily have to just do that. If you don't get in, you can always attack things live. And you're not going to get the same exact prices, but if a team falls down by 17 and you like the optics, you can always take a position live.
Correct. So let's look at that. The Pelicans right now are -5.5 pre-game. The gate closes. Yes. Let's assume it closes at 5.5. If they're down by 10, you're probably at a -210 clip at 5.5. You're probably not going to get plus 450 unless it's later in the game, right?
Yes.
So, like I said, this is probably like double minus EV overall, etc. But it's almost like the inverse of that early win promo that DraftKings had to pull because we were crushing it, where you would just take a dog to be up by 10 points at any point of the game, and then you'd win the ticket. No interest at all? I mean, I already put it out there. I'm on New Orleans 10 plus, 15 plus, and 20. Small little sprinkle at 50 to 1, but I'm free rolling off that Lakers last night.
It's definitely the better game to do it. That's clear. I see no reason to do this in the Raptors game. Yeah, I mean, for me, I would rather just get in live, to be honest. But that's more. I do want to bring up one series if I can.
Well, let's talk series prices, right?
Okay, fine. Let's talk them. Let's do it. And then we'll talk some prize picks, because prize picks.
We got parlays to build too.
Oh, we got parlays to build. And PrizePicks also has some absurd new categories, including personal fouls, and they're an amazing sweat. It's outrageous. Taking a page out of your book.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for that quite yet.
Oh, you're gonna get ready.
Go ahead.
All right. Series prices. Some of them are obviously, in my mind, basically unplayable.
Are you going spread or money line here? And why?
So you can look at both. I think series spread is more applicable if you like, say, like the Sixers, someone like that, where it's just like, okay, I don't really have a way to actionably bet this. Like I'm not looking to lay -900 on the series. You know what I mean? But if you lay 1.5 games, sure. I have to bring up the Kings Warriors series. The Kings are the favorite in terms of seeding. They're obviously a significant dog in terms of price. I'm not saying that it's not warranted, but I think that the Kings have a much better chance than everybody else seems to think. I know the Warriors was not a great draw for them by any stretch. You're getting plus 240 though for Sacramento, and I do think it could be the type of series where home court holds throughout. That's all I'll say.
I like it. I think you can probably adjust. So you've got 230 on the money line to win. I'm just curious what they are -1. I mean, they're 5 to 1, -1.5.
Yeah, see, that's tough.
Yeah, but I mean, look, it's tough, but I think they have not as good. But if they're going to win, I don't think that here's what I'm trying to say, is if this comes down to a winner take all and it's one game and that's it, a lot of people are going to be looking at the history and the veteran presence and everything with Golden State. It's just going to be tough, I think, for Sacramento to win a final game in the series. But my point is, I'm with you, and I actually think there's a better chance. The odds may not reflect this, Ben, but I think there's a better chance they win the series by 2 than by 1. That's just my gut.
I know what you're saying. The problem with that is I think there's real equity that they do not lose a home game.
Sacramento.
Yes.
Okay.
And in your scenario, they would have to win a road game. Like you're thinking 4-2 and they beat the Warriors in 6, I assume.
Right.
That's going to be, I think, difficult.
Exactly. And I think that's where, so this is, let's flip this back. What's more likely to happen? The Kings winning on the road or Golden State winning game 7 on the road? Like the Kings winning game 5 on the road, whatever it is on the road, or Golden State winning game 7? Because that's where I think you weigh. And look, I'm betting plus 230 no matter what. Like your play plus 230, 240. I thought it was 230.
I found a 240.
Even better. So
Yeah,
I'm
240
betting
on FanDuel.
There you go. Perfect. I'm betting that. Like that's not up for debate. This is just talking about the plus 500 play to lay the 1.5 games as a secondary half unit type play or quarter unit, depending on what you're putting on the Kings. That's what I think it comes down to. What's more likely to happen? The Kings steal one on the road or the Warriors win one in game 7?
So I would go the other way personally and say, in the sense, your foundation is plus 240 and you're looking to splash even more aggressive. To me, you can take the Kings plus 1.5 for plus 135. And that means if they get to game 7, you automatically win.
Got it. Okay.
And then you put their series price maybe as the splash.
Got it. Okay. Look, that makes sense. I think the Kings winning this
for them to, I assume people think that the Warriors in 6 is a pretty like reasonable outcome. They split, the Warriors hold serve. Maybe they drop game 5, Warriors destroy in game 6. That would be my prediction of what the public thinks.
Yeah, they'd have to. Calvin Weeks leaning with Ben, go minus 2.5 plus 1,200. You're going minus 2. You're going minus 2.5 there, Ben?
Minus 2.5. No, I mean, you can fully go there if you want to go that direction. I'm just saying you can get plus money on the Kings getting a game and a half in addition to taking just the series price.
Right. Makes sense.
Like, I think this series goes 7 a lot. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I would think more often than that. All right, I see what you're saying. It's a ladder. Sorry, Calvin.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Gotcha. All right, beautiful. You want to hit PrizePicks? You want to just build some parlays? I've been out of commission, so I haven't been building anything today. So I'm anxious.
Okay, let's see what PrizePicks has going on.
All right, let's go to Now, a lot of stuff on PrizePicks is not for. There's a couple of things like, well, you have to get rid of Embiid. So what are we doing? 5 legs, 6 legs?
Whatever you're feeling. This is a good.
Let's do 5 legs.
Yeah, you're gonna have to mix and match a little on PrizePicks because again, there's only a couple games, but there's so many different categories.
I have 4 NBA and 1 MLB currently up on mine. So, Mike, I think we're gonna have the same. Just get rid of Embiid. If you go down, yeah, keep it flex. That's fine because it'll be 5. Just get rid of Embiid since Embiid is not now. So just keep going down. He's going to be on your left. Oh, he's gone. Okay, sorry. So, got it. Sorry. Thanks, brother. I apologize. Should have known. So this is what we have. We have Jalen Williams under 5.5 rebounds. Fred VanVleet under 31.5 PRA. Ken Waldichuk, our lone baseball play here, under 4.5 Ks. Brandon Ingram under 45.5 PRA. And Lou Dort, good thing we didn't play a double-double, under 5.5 rebounds. So that's the base right there of what our tool gave us for PrizePicks. You see anything you like, dislike, you want to keep? What do you think?
So it's a lot of unders right now. Maybe that is kind of correlating to the sense that tighten up a little in the playoffs with the defense. I don't mind stuff like that. I don't really have a strong take. Certainly the A's pitcher, I couldn't pick him out of a lineup of 1, so that's fine for me. Gonna keep him in there. I really am fine with these though. The one I'm most nervous about is VanVleet under 31.5 PRA. I think he could contribute tonight, but again, it's still a 50% X win. The book is the book. The value is the value. But if I was just going my gut feel, that's the one I feel least confident about.
Yeah, and I agree with you. So let's do that. Let's swap that out and let's find something that we can replace the Fred VanVleet one. I have one. It's a little bit less of an X win, but it's still beating the market. That's what our tool does. It's still a valuable play to us on PrizePicks. But what about staying in that game? And instead of going Fred VanVleet under 31.5 PRA, a guy that I think can climb in easier to his PRA as an under, and that's Scotty Barnes at 27.5. Like the 4-point rebound assist gap between Van Vliet and Barnes seems a little too narrow. Like Barnes' number seems a little too high. The market would agree. And this is a guy who I think is going to have to really, like, he's going to be bumped up in option here to get points. Rebounds may be there. Assists, I just don't see that as much. So that would be my vote if you wanted to replace Van Vliet. But I'm curious if you have anything else, then let's ride.
I'm fine with that. Again, you're shaving off a little X-Win, which is never ideal, but it's negligible. It's not drastic. You've got that. If you wanted another one, I will say, Noah Dobson over 2.5 shots on goal for the Islanders tonight. I like all things Islanders in this game. He grades out really well. So if you're going like 3 sports and you're fine with that, Dobson's right there in terms of the same outcome in terms of probability as Scotty Barnes.
All right, let's do this. Let's keep both in there. So now we have a 6-leg 25. When this thing hits 25x, the only thing I'll ask of you in return out there is to click the link and sign up for this free week. That's it of the tool. Because I don't know if there can be a better representation of this thing working than you using it and hitting a 25x. Now we'll see. It's a flex play. So you can still double your money with 5. It's a negligible payout with, with 5. So let's do that. So we have Jalen Williams under 5.5 rebounds, Ken Waldachuk under 4.5 Ks, Ingram, Brandon under 45.5 PRA, Lou Dort under 5.5 rebounds. We added Noah Dobson over 2.5 shots on goal. Aggressive Islanders play right there, which I love. And then we're fading Scotty Barnes under 27.5 PRA. It's a pretty juicy PrizePicks card, man.
I like it. And if you're going to get real dangerous, this is.
Are you adding?
Can we add? This is not no. This is just a sidebar. This is not endorsed by anyone but me because I'm obsessed with these now. DeMar DeRozan over 2.5 personal fouls tonight. It's over on PrizePicks.
Okay, so have you just simply looked at game logs and said this guy's a hack?
No, I haven't really done anything. I'm sticking to my formula that in the playoffs, first of all, everyone's going to have to guard. He's going to be on the court the entire time. I think they're going to lose. And you're going to see, I mean, Trae Young was getting fouled last night when they were up 11 points with like 30 seconds left. They're not going to give up these teams. So if I can steal 1 or even 2 cheap fouls, I think I have a pretty fair chance of getting this normally. I think this isn't the craziest. I said some crazy things over the years. This is towards crazy, but it's not the craziest thing I've ever said.
So you would rather bet over 2.5 DeMar DeRozan fouls than the New Orleans Pelicans being down 10 and still winning at plus 450.
Yes.
Okay. Just
definitely.
Checking.
Personal foul expert. Then again, I've only done one of these and it was Trae Young last night and it lost. So I'm winless in my career as a personal foul expert.
Look, I am undefeated.
So something's got to give.
That's a down 10, technically a down 15 in win expert here.
The Lakers are the Lakers.
What book are you not banned on right now? What book can you play parlays on? I can't go to Unibet. I can't go to, thanks to this tool, I can no longer bet parlay. I'm dead serious.
Yeah, I know.
I do the parlay video of the day every day here, and I try to move around and do different books. And we had this stretch where we hit like 9 NBA parlays over 18 days, and I was bouncing around. We hit a bunch on Sugar House and Unibet. I can't even place parlays. Like, Ben, I tried to place a belligerent 5-leg Sugar House parlay, and I'm getting reduced, capped, etc. So you are like a million times sharper than me. So where can you legally bet now where, all right, they're not going to cap you and you're not going to be frustrated by putting together a parlay here with us?
Yeah, man. We can. Yeah, FanDuel's great. Check out what they got going on.
Okay. NJ, I'm sorry, brother. Nothing today. It was a wild day today over here. So I will be back tomorrow. I promise. I may even do an extra video just because I didn't know what to do with myself.
Slacking,
Seriously. Trust me.
I have to come down. I'm supposed to be managing this team. Nice job.
Ben will tell you. I reached out to you, to Nathan. I felt bad. I was like,
it's
I should be doing something here.
You're here. We're ready to build parlays. Got it going on here.
All right, let's do this. Let's get rid of everything. Let's get rid of everything except, oof. Let's
Who's
get
this
rid of
guy?
everything but Matheson at the bottom. We're not going to play Matheson. All right. That's Mike Matheson of the Montreal Canadiens. Okay.
Okay.
We're not going to play him, but I just want Mike for the visual to get rid of everything.
Why can't we play him? No good.
Actually, get rid of him. I'm sorry, Mike. We can, but I'd like to just build this truly from scratch. If
That's fine.
All right. Now, we've talked about a bunch, and I'm curious if people have any leans or any ways in which they think we can work this parlay. You have to know right now, of course, on FanDuel, as our tool has indicated when we looked at solo bets, all of the value, and there's a lot of it, but all of the value, Ben, is not tonight. It's ahead of time. It's 4:15, it's 4:16, it's 72 or 96 hours away. The first bet that I see that's tonight is actually Matheson with the highest ROI.
Fine.
But like, look at Giddey. Giddey under 8, and I know we doubled Giddey, right? But look at Giddey. Maybe this is a hedge, which it's not. But look at Giddey under 8.5 rebounds. It's got a little bit less of an XROI, but I love the fact that it's got a 56% win versus Matheson's 50%.
Yeah, now, I would rather have the hockey one personally, but if you want to go with Giddey, we can do that. I'm a team player. It's personal preference. You're upping your X win and you're slightly changing your ROI. These are all very negligible.
Okay.
I got one for you though. I got a good one in here.
Okay. Because I was about to suggest that we switch books, but if you're good,
you want to switch books?
I kind of want to go to DraftKings because I think we're going to have more variety tonight. And when we click over to click over to DK, and you'll start to see. So let's leave Wander Franco in here, Mike, if we can. All right, let's get rid of everybody but Wander. So now we have Wander Franco as our anchor. Ben, that's a 60% chance of hitting with a 4% XROI. This on DraftKings is beating the market everywhere else. So it's a good bet for us to at least start with Wander Franco. I know Tampa Bay has been on an absolute tear right now. They haven't lost a baseball game, right?
Yeah, they're going undefeated.
Heading into, they're going to go 161-1 without a doubt, right? So I understand that.
Swept in like the play-in game, sure.
Chris Sale on the hill today. Franco is probably not going to get a ton of stuff to hit, although he has been hitting. Look, man, you just get one. That's fine. I'm okay with this play. I don't think that it jumps out as anything that would be cautious. Now, is your play that you looked at on FanDuel still here?
No, it is not. And it just speaks to the value of shopping. On FanDuel, I liked Van Vliet's over on rebounds, but it was clearly because of the price that FanDuel hung. DraftKings has adjusted that price, and there's no value there, which is fine. Because to me, I think we can double dip on Scotty Barnes under 27.5 points, rebounds, assists. It's -110. It's grades out really favorably for that line. 54% X win. That's going to be a nice addition, really, to any parlay on DraftKings. I think if you're looking for one, that's where we should go next.
Okay. And you like Matheson. It's a 50-50 shot. We have it, but the value comes in the line being at +105. So according to us, there's a little bit of an edge there. Even if it's 5 points, that's edge. But you like Look, the Islanders, I know you're on the Islanders. We're going aggressive New York Islanders, lower scoring game. Matheson stays off the sheet. It's not impossible.
I mean,
you want to go with that?
We can go with that again. I have no.
No, you're going to be culpable for this. So are we going with this?
Yeah, we can go with that. The Islanders just blanked your Flyers. They held the Lightning to 1 goal. The Capitals messed them up, but that was on the road. And this is an all-in game, so I'm fine with shorting anything Montreal related.
Okay. Now, one more would be in this OKC game. It's Jalen Williams under 5.5 rebounds, Lou Dort under 5.5 rebounds. That's probably...
Got to go with Jalen Williams. Best bet on the board.
You like that?
I mean, it's 5% XROI, and again, I can't say it any clearer than that. If you're tracking your results and you're testing out these tools, it matters. It really does. Like if you have a bet that is 9% XRY and one's 2%, there is a difference over time for sure.
Hey, want to remind you to vote on this community parlay here. think I know where Ben's going tonight with
Yes.
his leg. I'm gonna sabotage the parlay in the sense of like, hey,
Wow.
hey, you don't like this, but you're gonna like it. That's all I'm gonna say right now. You're gonna like it. What's you got this look on your face today?
What does that mean? Is it good or bad?
No. You have a very annoyed look on your face for most
No,
of the
I'm not annoyed at all. I do have a splitting headache. I am tired.
Okay,
but,
so that
but
makes more sense.
that's not from anything related to here. I haven't even, I'll put it like this. I have
played.
not made a bet today, which is,
the only reason why I made a bet today is because, I'm dealing with everything that's going on. It's fine. Like, I don't want to build this up as like something major. You've dealt with like no power and a tree falling and the house falling apart. Like, that's way worse than just dealing with a kid and a pregnant wife and all that. But point being is I wasn't going to do anything. And then I see him getting tagged on the Discord like, yo, where are you? Where are you? And I'm like, oh, shit.
The people need their plays.
Yeah, Lindquist can't do it alone.
Oh, wow. I was lurking. I was around.
Yeah, you're always around. That is how I thought you were going to look, by the way, when I presented.
Who the hell is that?
That's the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I never, I missed that one.
Did you see any other Indiana Jones movies?
No. But I've seen parts of them.
No.
I like movies too. It's just that's not one I've seen.
You can't do parts. Is anybody going to bet this besides me, or am I going to be the only one?
The parlay?
Yeah.
I might get down on that. I like these legs.
I can't find by the way, the reason why I ask is I don't see any MLB up on DK. Does anybody else?
Let's go to the videotape.
All right. So here's the other thing too. Before we get to the community parlay, we have a couple of different promos and stuff. I know Mike has put this together here.
It's up.
But do you have MLB or is it just PA that does not have?
Yeah,
MLB?
I have MLB.
All right. Well, maybe it's just me. That's bizarre. Okay. Just curious. All right. We have Wander Franco under 1.5 total bases. Scotty Barnes under 27.5 PRA, right?
That's my favorite one. Yep.
Mike Matheson under 0.5 point. Just don't get a point. And then Jalen Williams under 5.5 rebounds. All right. So there is and this is a great way to kind of remind people about what we're doing on Putting for Dough. But Mike has a couple of promos. We always have these promos that we put together for the night and stuff. And one of them that jumped out to me, because it's the only book that I saw doing this. Normally there are a couple of other books that do it, but DraftKings looks like the only one that has boosted odds here for you for the RBC. So it's plus 250. Wow, look at that. Toronto Raptors to cover 6 points. Total points over 215 is at plus 400. I know we have to do the math and check if that makes sense, et cetera, but that seems pretty good right there. Raptors, I know it's a big ask, the total, the line, but that total is definitely attainable. What do you think about that first same game parlay boosted to 400?
Yeah, I think that's definitely playable.
It was plus 310.
Yeah,
they say it was plus.
You're moving up. Yeah, I think there's some value there. Your total is the problem. The total's sitting at 212.5. So you're incurring a couple extra points, but the value of those points when you're in those ranges is not nearly as important as the value of a point, in like a player prop. So you can get that. I think that's a fine bet and one that I actually am on board with.
Interesting. Okay.
Let's see. Let me just see if I can pull up.
Ben Rasa is betting. Did I hear this right? You must have a headache if this is the first bet that you're
So if you want to calculate it, all you have to do, you go to Penny. Over 215 points is plus 125. The under's minus 146. Take the fair line on that, like 130 something and change. You parlay that with the Raptors at around minus 105 fair value. And if that's less than 4-1, you've got a positive EV bet on your hands.
Not bad. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, I think that's not bad.
So here was my theory. You can boost anybody at all to win outright the RBC Heritage plus 250. And if you look at the board overall, and again, putting for dough, the two of us talk at length about every event each week. Eric Lindquist is all over the place as well. He's everywhere. So if we have content, then you know you're going to see Lindquist's face somewhere amongst that. But I look, every bet now that you add plus 250 makes sense. And I'm just paraphrasing what you have drilled into my head, where if you have a single odds boost, it's going to be plus EV. It's going to be fine. You can't get this wrong per se, even if you're boosting Satoshi Kodaiar, right? Like even if you're going
that would be wrong. Don't do that.
Okay, so Luke Donald, Kramer Hickok, CT Pan. Wow, what happened to CT Pan? Is he on Live?
Former winner here, but yeah.
Is he on the Live tour?
No,
or is he just hurt?
He's hurt.
Okay, so my theory, Ben, was actually boosting of all people. And look, if you're wondering about, well, how does the book maintain liability, et cetera, these are always going to be capped. So Ben can't come in here and drop $5,000 on a plus 250 boost. Scotty Scheffler now goes to plus 1,100 off that 250 boost. I have him as no longer the odds-on favorite to Jon Rahm. And all of a sudden, if you look at everybody in the Masters except for Jon Rahm, he is arguably one of the only guys, I mean, Russell Henley, I guess, but one of the only guys that was truly trending up on Sunday. He just had too wide of a gap to narrow down. So normally we don't talk about going to the top, Ben, but I think I'm going to, unless you say no, I think I'm going to boost Scotty Scheffler to 1,100 now.
Yeah, I mean, when you are using those type of boosts, you're getting more value the higher up the board you go, because the percentage change is much greater when you're changing plus 850 to plus 1,100. Like if a guy's 200 to 1 and you make him 202 to 1,
yeah,
that doesn't really do anything when you break it down in terms of like percent break even and things like that. If you change a guy, I mean, think how valuable this would be if you could use it on a top 10. If you could take someone at plus 105 and make them plus 355.
Yep.
So you always want to go to the top of the board. Doesn't mean you have to take Scheffler per se, but for me, it would be Scheffler, Rahm, Cantlay, or Morikawa as the best options.
Okay.
With this boost.
Cantlay, Rahm. So you'd boost Rahm over Scheffler?
No, I would boost Scheffler over Rahm. I'm saying it's better to boost any of those type of guys than a guy at like 200 to 1.
Okay. Sorry. By the way, are you taking Quinnipiac laying 1.5 goals tonight?
I haven't even looked. Quinnipiac, shout out to Quinnipiac, the NCAA champions in hockey. They won the Frozen Four, which is insane to me.
I did not know that, by the way.
Yeah. They won in overtime against Minnesota. Wild game. Congrats to them.
That's it. That's pretty insane right there.
It's really cool for Quinnipiac.
I was just trying to see if anything changed here. I mean, we go back to tonight. We're on a lot of unders. We've built. Okay. Look, we've got double doubles. We've got triple doubles. I hit you with the 10 plus, 15 plus, if you so dare, for the New Orleans Pelicans.
Fouls.
Yes, I was going to end with that. Like Ben Rasa went full madness here into, I don't know what you took, what headache powder you took for this, but it's changed you into a maniac right now. Is there, man, I was looking to see like Vooch under 1.5 3-pointers. There was no real over 3-pointers tonight from us, at least. Well, I mean, Gary Trent, hold on. Gary Trent and Van Vliet. No, that's a negative. So Gary Trent over 1.5 threes is actually a plus EV bet. It's over on BetMGM. Could I interest you in a 3 ladder for Gary Trent Jr.? He's going to have volume, Ben. No?
I mean, it's the right team. It's the wrong game, in my opinion. Certainly there's just going to be less points in this game. I think step one is how much do you think, if at all, his minutes, is he going to push for 30 minutes? Is he going to be reduced to 20 minutes? If he gets hot, I actually kind of like the ladder concept, because we saw last night, like, say what you want about the Heat, Kyle Lowry was on fire.
Amazing.
And obviously, you got to kind of ride that in these one sample games. So, like, if Gary Trent starts launching and he's making them, they're going to push him for major minutes. Now, if he doesn't, they may go a different direction. So maybe you do go ladder with some of the peripheral guys on these teams, regardless, because like SGA could be 0 for 20 and he's going to be out there. They're not going to pull him off the court, but someone who's kind of on the cusp of the, not cusp of the rotation, but not a core cog, maybe that's the type of move for a ladder.
All right. So right now, Trent Jr. over 1.5 threes, minus 140, 3 pluses, plus 250, 7 to 1 for 4 plus.
I think, yeah, 3+ isn't unheard of. He could easily take like 8 threes in this game.
That's what I'm looking at. Volume. Absolutely. Yeah. Looking at volume. All right. I'm in 1.5 and 3 plus. Nice little 2-leg, 2-rung ladder. What do you have for the parlay tonight, man? Oklahoma City Thunder plus 5.5. Nobody voted for the San Francisco Giants. Wow. And the Islanders did not win, which means you can now steal that from the crowd.
Which I will.
I knew you would.
Yeah. I'm going to stick to the same formula, which has been working. It did not work last night, but long-term, it's been working perfectly. And this is actually it now. If the Islanders get their 2 points tonight, the Penguins are done. And they're at home against the Canadiens team that's just god-awful. And the Islanders have been playing fantastic hockey in their own building. I will take the Islanders minus a goal and a half at minus 130. I think that they just do what they've been doing. I had them against the Flyers. I'm going to do it here. So I think these are really plus EV bets to close the season in hockey. These teams that absolutely need the points.
That's great, man. And so not first period like we did last night in Pittsburgh.
I didn't want to go first period yesterday. The problem was there was really nothing else actionable. I wasn't going to lay minus 190 on and I wasn't going to take the Penguins minus 500, which is great because they lost outright. We saved a lot of juice by going to the first period. Now it lost, and that's not what you want, but it does make a difference. So no, here I'm going right back to the puck line. Give me the minus 1.5 goals. Minus 1.5 at minus 130.
Oh, what book? It's up to...
I'm sorry, on DraftKings.
Okay. So I have to take one of my plays on DraftKings now, even though I'm not technically on DraftKings. That's fine. Let's do this. I mean, again, I got on 410, so I can't believe that the total right now for tonight's game would be 216, right? No, it's 212.5. So
that's what I'm saying. Yes,
right. Now, shout out to the Discord, half off your first week. We have a link below. You can get in free for Chalkboard. You've got a bunch of us kind of spread out throughout. Ben and I, Lindy, Isaiah, 4 of us on the Discord. That was given out on Monday right away at under 216. It is now dipped to nearly 212, 3.5 points. Did it dip because I can read the market with some super futuristic glasses? No, it dipped because I used this freaking tool that we keep telling you about, and everybody else was below the one book that I bet it. So let's do this. I'm going to go Raptors minus 1.5 first quarter.
Okay. I like that.
Making sure it's at 2 now. That's fine. I'll lay the 2. If we push, it's a parlay, we push. Or should I just go Ben minus 165 since it's a parlay to win money line?
To win the first quarter?
Correct.
Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. That's good.
There we go.
Penny's got it at minus 168. So it's not within the threshold, but it's damn close.
Got it. Okay. And again, we got bit on losing that half. So the 2 is a push instead of a win here for us. So I figured why not? It's a parlay. We'll go minus 165. That's not bad right there. All right.
Yeah, tie is a push for sure.
Yeah, and I'd rather just take the win as opposed to risking a void. I mean, look, exactly. Tie's a push on the money line, but tie's also a push if they win by 2.
Yeah. I just mean if it's 25-25 at the end of the first quarter, it's just a void.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Absolutely, Calvin. Man, anything else you got? See some new people coming in. Want to remind you to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. If you have any questions or any throws or any plays or anything, now is the time, or forever hold your peace. Jonas, your boy Jonas, under 11.5 is plus money on DraftKings, and that has a spanking XROI of 7%, Ben. You're
He's going
laying
to be an
juice
interesting player tonight, just because he's one of the few guys where I think the range of outcomes with his minutes is massive, and you don't normally say that in the playoff atmosphere.
Real quick, I want to get your thoughts on this on the way up. Arnold Allen versus Max Holloway.
Yeah, it's a big fight.
Well, look, over 4.5 total rounds. And the reason why is because, again, our UFC stuff that pops up seems to pop up like a week in advance. And we seem to really, like, I had plus money for the Israel fight on the rounds, and that thing closed at like minus 130. And the only reason why I got it that high is because I got it in like a week in advance. So this is a pretty good bet how we have it right now. Any interest?
What's the line?
Can we get 5 rounds?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a ton about MMA, but I know enough that every time I've seen Max Holloway fight, he's taken a ton of damage and he can't be finished. So we'll see. Allen, there was some injury things there, but whatnot. But it's all about the line. What's the line that you say?
Minus 115 versus everywhere else.
Pinnacle's at minus 135.
Oh, there you go. And Pinnacle's beating Caesars, Bet Rivers, Sugar House, DraftKings, Unibet, and BetMGM is now beating Pinnacle. That's in a nutshell how our tool works. Right there.
I'm telling you right now, you can quote me on this one. If you put that bet in,
I'm doing it
on Saturday, come back and see where that's at. And more often than not, you're going to say, wow, I bet it at, what'd you say, minus 115?
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be, minus 128, minus 135, something like that. So that is the power. If you can jump on them early, I like that bet. That is one I will be betting right away. What book is that?
I'm trying to find it. I think it dropped to 3.5.
You see?
Do you see it?
No, I haven't. I didn't see it to begin with. So I'm going to investigate after the show. But again, just keep an eye on the tool.
3.5.
Oh, 3.5. That changes everything.
Well, yeah, because you're now going minus 200.
Yeah, that's a totally different.
But to be fair, I didn't refresh this anytime soon, so this could have been stale on there.
Well, again, it's just a guessing game sometimes. You just got to keep an eye out. You get a 7-day free trial. Sometimes you're going to miss them. Sometimes you're going to hit them. That's the beauty of trying to beat the lines.
Oh, man. All right. We appreciate it. By the way, I took the Sixers minus 4.5 first half. I took the Sixers minus 1.5 second quarter, all going under Embiid's 49.5 PRA. Easy game 1.
Okay.
Just want to let you know. I'm not going to be able to talk about my Sixers until. See, it's my Sixers when it's the Sixers. It's Mike's Flyers when it's the Flyers. You know how that works? We'll see you guys. At JazzRaz DFS, at Shander Show. Thumbs up, subscribe on the way out. We appreciate you big time. Again, we keep telling you this free week. I don't know how many times you need to see it work here on social, what have you. Just having fun with it. See you tomorrow.